What's up guys, it's your boy Zion and I'm bringing you another Destiny video. And at the end of this video you can either say I'm full of shit and I'm fucking retarded, or you can go ahead and agree with me, or let me know what you guys think about what I'm about to talk about. So I wanted to talk a little bit with the Dark Blow coming out. I wanted to talk about Destiny's future DLC. I believe the DLC in the works is called the House of Wolves, and I actually don't think it's in the works. I think it's actually done. So the reason why I say this is because I'll touch on that a little bit later in the video, but in the vanilla story Destiny gave us at launch and stuff, the broken down shambles of a story that they piecemealed out to make DLC, the main story is mainly about the Vex. Now, you can argue this with me and say, well, asshole, we went ahead and we fought the Hive, we fought the Fallen, we fought everybody. It's not just about the Vex. And I'm going to tell you, shut the fuck up and listen to what I have to say before you interrupt me again. Now, the main story was about the Vex, and the reason why I say this is because, yeah, we fight the Fallen, and yeah, we fight the Hive for a little bit, but for the most part, the story they gave us is like how to get into the Black Garden, how to stop the Vex from basically like controlling time and shit like that. And it's really centered around that. And then you look at the content they gave us after the launch story was the raid. The raid is Atheon and hobgoblins and goblins and oracles and gatekeepers and things which are basically just giant hydras. It's all Vex. Is basically what I'm saying, is the entire raid is nothing but Vex enemies. There's no Hive, there's no Fallen. And then you look at the DLC that just came out, the Dark Below, in which you fight Crota. Now, this whole DLC is based around the Hive, so the raid, everything is Hive. Excuse me, guys. Is Hive. You go ahead. The raid's gonna be basically knights. Crota himself is a knight. You run from ogres. There's acolytes and thralls and wizards and bears. Oh my! Now, what you want to take away from this and my mad ramblings are that the DLC that just gave us is 100% centered around Hive enemies. So my thinking is, and where I go ahead and bring my point from the beginning, that the House of Wolves is actually finished, is the House of Wolves, I believe, is a completely Fallen DLC. Now, the reason I say this is because they didn't really explain the Fallen too much like they did the Vex. So you found out the Vex control time. You found out that like Gorgons go ahead and basically just decide whether or not you exist anymore once they spot you. Things like that. Like, there's a lot of backstory to the Vex, and they actually explain stuff like the Black Garden, things like that are actually really well explained, and that's what I'm expecting from the Dark Below. They're going to go into the Hive, and you heard a lot in like the main story about, oh, it's connected to some other power, it's connected to their god or their deity and stuff, and come to find out their god or deity is really Crota, who you fight in the raid. Kind of like how Atheon was like the controller of time and basically controlled like every shipment of Vex ever, and like the flow of time forward and backwards and stuff like that. And they explain those things. Now, I'm expecting there to be the House of Wolves to be completely Fallen, and I'm expecting, if you go back to the very first video I posted, I'll actually leave an annotation at the end of the video where my random video would typically go. I'll leave an annotation to my first video, which was the secret King's Watch area in Earth here. I can actually run over there real quick, but I'm not going to go ahead and do that simply because I'm too far away, and to get there would actually take a little bit of time and glitching, and just watch the other video. It'll show you the area completely. But the thing with this was, this area was completely modeled. It was done basically like the second week after launch is when I went ahead and posted that video. It was really close to the game's actual launch, and we know that they pieced the story out because we had leaked cutscenes, things like that, where it showed that the story was more in depth than what they actually gave us. So taking me back to the King's Watch, one, if it's the House of Wolves and the King's Watch are linked somehow, I believe that it's a strike, simply because the way the King's Watch is set up, it's basically leading you through rooms that have spawns for dregs and vandals and things like that. And then at the very center of the King's Watch is a big ass captain. Kind of looks like Draxus, or not Draxus, and I forget the other guy's name, the one from the Winter Cow. Um, it looks exactly like them, except it's called an Ultra Captain, and I believe it was level 18, and we're talking like the second week into the game, so I'm sure they can scale it up and down to whatever the hell they want to scale it to. But he was already scaled pretty high, and what it was is he was just called Ultra Captain. He was in a big ass circular room, and there's no like anything attached to him, simply because you had to glitch into the area and it wasn't available yet. So this takes me back to, I believe the House of Wolves is going to be a fully Fallen DLC in which they're going to explain what the Fallen are, like why they're invading, things like that, and go ahead and give us a little bit more of the backstory and everything that we should have gotten at the beginning, the launch of the game, but just didn't because it was pieced out for DLC. Let me know what you guys think. Does my argument make sense that since it seemed like the main game was Vex, the DLC we just received yesterday was Hive, and that it only makes sense that they do a Fallen DLC? And if it is a Fallen based DLC, does it make sense to you guys that the Secret King's Watch area that we speculated from the very beginning was part of a DLC? Does it make sense that that would correspond with the House of Wolves and actually be a part of that DLC? And do you think it's a strike? Do you think that's what the Fallen raid's going to be, is an Ultra Captain that they could basically scale however they want and name whatever they want? Because we're talking about a glitch we found in like the second week of the game being launched, like it was brand spanking new. So technically they could go back and do whatever the fuck they wanted with that area, expand it, do anything. But it was fully modeled, fully done, ready to go from the launch of the game. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, a comment, a favorite, and subscribe. And as always, I'll see you guys later. Peace.